And that'll do it for the first period of play at the end of one. It's Atlanta 27, your Sparks 16. Over to you, Frenchie.
Yes, what's going on, fans? Alrighty, fans, it is time for one of my new favorite games, Follow the Ball.
Alrighty, entering the locker room.
Yeah, I think today, going in, I knew what the situation was, and so I was able to just square my mind on just being aggressive and doing whatever our team needs us to do. She does so much for this team, defensively, offensively, but that's the cool thing about this team. I feel like we're the deepest team in the W, so it's been a process for me trying to adjust to rotations, minutes, but today at least I had some clarity, even though it was a little adversity, and I'm just really proud of how everyone just stayed aggressive and stayed true to our plan. Candace was still aggressive. Chelsea was taking big shots. T was full court pressuring. We had so many people just step up when we needed to, because these teams, Atlanta, they're the hardest to beat because, they're playing carefree basketball. Obviously they are out of the playoffs, but they still played with pride. So we knew that those are the dangerous ones that can sneak up on you, and for us to push through. I think it's a quality win.
12 worries them a little bit for you guys?
Yeah, don't hit it. I think when you look at turnovers,
You got to look at the way in which you're turning the ball over, and a lot of it was in our control. You kind of worry when it's not in your control, and when they're live ball, a lot of times we were throwing them out of bounds, which allows us to have them take the ball out and set our defense, and so I don't think that they scored a lot out of fast break because of the turnovers.
Candace Parker obviously was out tonight, but she looked good as a kind of almost like an impromptu assistant coach. Didn't look ill or fatigued. How did she, how did she kind of cope with this moving forward?
Well, obviously, I think we would prefer her not to be on the sideline, but however we can contribute, we do. We all know the game. We all are in it for the team, and so she did a good job of staying involved even though she wasn't able to play, talking to everybody and making sure that we're doing our right defensive rotations and offensively moving the ball.
I believe you had 8 points in the third and in the fourth. Did you make an emphasis to come out in the second half and really be a little bit more aggressive?
I think it's just more so for me with this, as talented as this team is, I want to make sure that the game is easier for everybody, and so if it requires me to score, I'm going to do that. But really it's just, I don't think we're a team that needs to take hard shots, and so you just take what the defense gives you, and we have such great players on the outside that the paint opened up a lot, and we were able to take advantage of that.
Okay, hey, how you doing? Obviously, you didn't get to play as much as you wanted to due to foul trouble in today's game. Can you just speak just in terms of kind of the flow of the game today? It felt like it was pretty mucky, a lot of foul calls. We were kind of, everybody in the press stands were talking about that. Can you just speak about today's game?
Yeah, when the refs are calling like that, of course on the offensive end you want to be super aggressive, but then when on a defensive end it's like, here or there, but yeah, foul trouble. That's why we have other players on the team, when I can't get it done, we have other players who can step up and get it done.
Good.
It's nice to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you. I work with Pavy.
Oh, okay.
So he's
Nice
always
to
talking
meet you.
about you. He calls you baby powder sauce. How do you feel as though you've been, going in terms of this season as you've progressed? Because obviously you started out and then over here and then you had to go back and then you came back. Do you feel like you're finally catching a little bit more of a rhythm overall, or is it still trying to kind of find your footing within the team?
It's hard when you play here and there and you move every time. But I come back and I'm so excited, and I want to help my team and I work hard, and I think we have a good team, and I don't know.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
I know you didn't play a ton of minutes tonight, but I did feel as though when I was watching you out there, the energy, we talked a lot about how just in the press stands about how well you were moving and how well you move overall as a player. Can you just kind of speak to, because I always feel like whenever I see you, there's always a emphasis for energy kind of when you enter into the game, especially because, you know, you're a little bit larger than most of the players. So I feel like that energy, it really, invigorates the team when you come in and play that way. How do you feel as though you play when you play with energy and it affects the team?
I just try to come in and do what I can, whether that's rebounding or setting the screen. This Atlanta team was not going to lay down, you know what I'm saying? And I think we had like kind of a first quarter swing where they were hitting their shots and we weren't. So Elizabeth Williams was having a good time down there. So just whenever I can, be aggressive on the defensive end. That's what my coach wants.
I feel like tonight was extra physical.
I've had worse. I've had worse. But yeah, it's always physical when you're down there as a 5, you know? Banging, getting a rebound. Monique Billings, she's more of a springy, like she's like a water bug all over the floor, just snatching those offensive boards. So yeah, you just gotta really like keep your head on the swivel and track.
So obviously this team is kind of out of the playoffs, so they have a few games left, and they're just kind of giving it the best they got the last few games. Do you feel a lot of teams will give LA, get up for LA and just want to beat LA? Do you feel that way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think every game people bring their bets because of the name we wear on our jerseys and who we are. I feel like if I was on a different team, I want to give Candace Parker 22 or Josie Gray too because of who they are in the name base. But I think LA is just like that rivalry. I think we have a rivalry with everyone.
So does that make every game kind of tough, or you guys have to keep maintaining?
I think we make it. I think we make it tough on ourselves. A few of the games we would just come out and be slow, and it's just like people, like opponents will eat that up. So I think that's something we need to work on, coming out with more energy, especially on the road.
So how do you, is it mindset? Is it just being physical? How do you come out more physical? How do you come out with that extra energy you need to combat that energy that the other teams come up with?
Just a mindset,
It is mindset.
Just staying sharp and trying to go in there and change the momentum in any way that you can. If that's offensive board and a putback or and one, or just setting the screen to get a teammate open.
Okay.
Game with all the time.
I know. Well, it is what it is.
Can you talk about the energy that Shanae brought you guys in the second quarter? I feel like she came in and gave you a joke when you guys really needed one.
Yeah, she was huge. She made some tough baskets in the paint over 2 shot blockers, So and she was able to get rebounds and grab the rebounds defensively as well when somebody like Billings is flying to trying to get an old board and give them energy and things like that. So she was huge. Her presence was felt.
More importantly, in this third quarter, I had you guys for the first 8 minutes or so in the third quarter, soaked into about 3 points. How important was it to just really lock down and just show them that, we're going to keep this defense up and we're just going to grind this out?
Yeah, defense wins games for sure. So we were able to get stops but also finish it with a rebound. I think that was a big focus for us going into this game. And I believe we out-rebounded them tonight. So that was important. That was significant in order to be able to go and play in transition.
I've heard, guys like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, guys that are high endurance and, very physical, obviously. You guys play a very physical game. How do you find ways to find rest when you're playing the entire
One thing are free throws. Hardly ever am I kind of in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just all depends. I walk back. I was reading an article about it, about active recovery. So I find little ways in that moment, taking the timeouts, but also being present in the moment and communicating as much as possible.
Are you exhausted after games like this, or is it just kind of like you
I'm
in
all
the
right.
zone?
I'm cool. No, I'm good.
Time for one more. All right, thank you.
Brady Parker, LA Times. Derek, can you talk a little bit about what was working in that 11-0 run that you had in the third quarter that took you guys from a close game to a little bit of a comfortable lead?
Yeah, I think it just the players kind of found a little bit of energy that they were lacking in the first half. You could tell just, right from the start, that the energy, like the force and the thrust of like playing high level basketball just wasn't there, and there are nights like that. And so I think in the third quarter, just tried to, clear their minds a little bit and just focus on like each defensive possession one at a time. And that was really kind of where the separation came from. I thought we rebounded the ball a lot better. We were more active in the third quarter, and we were able to get a little bit of separation.
Shanae, obviously, she came in and stepped in for a big assist today. She was pretty aggressive and active throughout. How important was that?
No, it was beyond important. I think that, like, regardless of I think like role, minutes, etc., like that type of mentality, right? Of like every player that touches the court, it's not about aggressive in terms of field goal attempts always, but like aggressive, assertive, confident, like physical. You felt her presence on the court, and that doesn't only need to happen when it's 17, 27, 37 minutes. When you're talking to young players, if it's 3 minutes, like we need to feel you out there in some ways. And I thought that Shanae set the tone in that regard. I commented to our coaches early in the first quarter that she really was the only one that had some pop, and some pace to her game. You could just tell she was moving at a different speed than the other 4 players out there for us. And so, she kind of helped us hang in there in the first half until we could get ourselves going a little bit in the third quarter.
Pavy HB Media, Coach, obviously a win is a win.
Yep.
But did some of the turnovers kind of worry you a little bit, especially some of the unforced errors?
Yeah, I mean, they always do. We've been a lot better in the last, a few ball games. Our turnovers have come down. But one of my longtime assistant coaches, Tex Winter, God rest his soul, he used to say fatigue makes cowards of us all. And when you're tired, crazy things happen. And so oftentimes, Atlanta is a team that is active. They're athletic, they're long, so they do have the ability to force turnovers. But I do think that for us, fatigue typically is one of those things that you can look to when our turnovers are a little bit higher. So hopefully we can get some rest tomorrow, because Seattle comes in and they're pretty active on the defensive end as well. So we'll have to be careful with the basketball.
Sabrina Merchant, the athletic coach, what were you hoping to get out of Marina when you put her in that third quarter?
Yeah, it was exactly what she gave us, right? Marina literally is like a quarterback in football that literally forgot that she threw an interception the last time she threw a pass. Like, she'll shoot an air ball and then go back down the court and do something really good and just move on. Like, that's how she approaches it. And what we've always, really loved about her from the beginning is that competitive spirit that she has. That, like, if somebody pushes her, she's going to push them back. If they smack her, she's going to smack them back. And so when she came in the game, she just played and she ran around and she helped at times when she wasn't supposed to help. But in the first half, people weren't helping when they should have been helping. So we were really happy that Marina was able to just come in the game and just bring an energy that we couldn't get, elsewhere. We got AB some minutes, but her conditioning is still, after not playing for a week or so. In the second half, I didn't feel comfortable putting her back out there and set her up for failure. And then when Sydney got banged around, and knocked down, she had to go back for concussion protocol to make sure she was good. So we talked about Marina before the game, though, and I was like, look, one thing we know about Marina is she's going to come in the game and she's going to fly around and do something. Sometimes it's not good, sometimes it is good, but we don't have to worry about the energy from her. She's going to try her hardest. And we're trying to remind our veterans that even though you get older and you have more experience in this league, a lot of times that cures the problems that you're having. Is just like that youthful mentality of like forgetting the past. Who cares I didn't get the shot? Who cares about what the referee just called? Let me just play the next play. And that's a long way of saying that she did some good things tonight. She needs to hear that because I get on her a lot. So.
Second row on the left.
Coach Derek, this is Chris Camello from NACL Media. Nneka's absence tonight, was that more precautionary than anything? And how did you like how the team responded without her on the court tonight?
Yeah, no, life is different without Nneka. And so, yeah, no, I wasn't here last year, obviously, but, just helping Nneka to manage her fatigue, how tired she gets over the course of a season. We had to be smart in Vegas the other night because we weren't sure, just based on her feedback, we wanted to make sure. I know last year it was a little bit more of an illness kind of thing, but this year we just want to make sure that we didn't miss that. And so once we got the confirmation that it was more of a just fatigue, not really exhaustion, but just Nneka does a lot, and she carries a big burden in terms of the Players Association and her role there. She does a lot for our team. She passes out boarding passes. She collects IDs. She does a lot. So, it's somewhat lighthearted in a way, but in some ways, we have to help her to understand that, on a flight, and they go through all the stuff they tell you before you take off, and they say in the event that you need oxygen, the mask comes down, please secure your mask first before you help others. We have to help Nneka understand that she has to secure her mask before she helps others. So it's a work in progress, but we'll keep working at it, and we'll see. She felt better today compared to how she felt in Vegas at halftime, and hopefully by Thursday, she'll be able to give us a little something.
Megan Hines from the South Court. Can you talk about Maria Vadiva's surges in the third quarter? She finished with 10 points, and that kind of outscored the Green's bench 10-9. Can you talk about her ability to produce and be able to be ready whenever her minutes called?
Yeah, no, Maria's been in a tough spot, in recent weeks, just with coming back, trying to find her rhythm after being away a little bit. And then for a while there, we were getting off to slow starts. So then that kind of impacts your rotation and when you can start to get bench players in. And she's had some games where she's been good, and then other games she hasn't gotten enough minutes to be able to be effective. To her credit, we were able to have some conversation yesterday. She just wanted to make sure that she wasn't doing anything that was limiting her minutes. And I told her that, it's on me. And, I just have to find a way to get her more opportunity. And tonight, instead of 1 minute and 56 seconds, which I think is what she played in Vegas, the more she plays, the better she does. So, unfortunately, because of the way our roster's set up, there are nights where there's not a lot of opportunity for her or for KALANI. But to both of their credits, they've stayed ready. And, I thought that Maria's energy as well, in particular her rebounding, which was an area of emphasis for us tonight, Maria was really good.
Time for two more. Second.
News for us online. Derek, what is it that you liked out there tonight, and what is it that you didn't like, and how do you clean up the things that you didn't like before the postseason?
I'll start with the positive. I think I liked the fact that it wasn't a scripted type of performance, right? Like, we've been really good at home. We've gotten separation from teams, big leads, etc. And I like the fact that, there's a level of grit and mental toughness that you have to have in order to win in the postseason. And you have to be willing to play when it's 32-33 at halftime and 42-39 in the third quarter, and not feel like it's supposed to be easy. And I think the more we have experiences where similar to Vegas, right? We're up 13. They make a run because they're good and they're at home, but the game is basically tied with 6 minutes to go. Okay, let's dig down and figure out how to win the game. Doesn't matter how, who scores the points, just win. And so I like that about tonight's game, is that we just had to find a way. Bodies were out, weren't playing that great, we won. What I didn't like, turnovers. Like I said, the fatigue for sure. But teams are too good to give the ball away and give them more possession. So we have to try and be smarter with the basketball. And then I think also offensively, in the second half we were better. We're so good sometimes that we don't trust that we can change sides of the floor with the basketball. Like Chelsea's thinking about making a great play and getting an assist. Candace is thinking about making a great play and getting an assist. And oftentimes you just need to make an okay play. Like you just need to make a basic pass. You just need to get to the right spot and not try to do something that's necessarily entertaining. Could be somewhat boring to fans, but it's winning basketball. And so those are areas I think that just having a little bit more discipline and not having to make the home run play, I think that'll help us a lot.
Last question.
John W. Davis, W Insider. Coach, what's your assessment?
What's going on? You had a question?
Oh yeah. I just, what was your reason?
I saw your hand go up before, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure we didn't.
Yeah, I just wanted to know your reasoning behind Chelsea Gray playing 40 minutes.
Because Chelsea Gray. Pretty much the answer. We just haven't been as good when she's off the floor. And I don't intend to do that when the game starts. But as the game goes on, I just, I don't necessarily feel like, we're going to get the things that we can get when she's on the court. And I thought that tonight, it's like she's starting to figure out that that's probably what I'm going to do. And so she got off the ball a little more. Candace handled, Sydney handled. Other people initiated the offense. And so she's expended less energy playing 40 minutes than she had at times playing 34 minutes. And I like the adjustment that she was able to make in that regard, that she doesn't always have to be the one to make the play happen. That if we just move the basketball through the pass and through the air, we can get easy shots. And that's sometimes our team we forget that the game can be easier if we just move the basketball a little bit more. Okay, John, sorry.
That's what I wanted to ask you. I just wanted to get your assessment on her record-setting night, because that's literally the most minutes you could play without an overtime game.
Right.
She didn't come off the court. And I know that's not something you want to do.
Yeah.
But you did it to get the win.
Yeah, no, I think that each night is different, like I said, and we had a stretch there where we were playing really good at home when we had the homestand, and we were getting big leads. We were able to keep the minutes down a little bit. But since then we just haven't been able to do so. And I think Chelsea's at an age where if this is what the team needs, she's willing to do it. And I think that her mindset in terms of being there for her team is so important to her that she's just going to keep finding a way to help us. And so we have to do a good job of, helping her in that process in terms of how we play offense, some of the things that we can do if she's going to be out there that long. But it's only 2 games to go. I don't know how much it's going to change. And then, from there, we'll see if we can take care of business on Thursday night and on Sunday, then that puts us in a good position to at least have a few days, where we can get some rest and then go from there.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
Yes, thank you.
Derek, is Sydney cool?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. She was the first person to ask what time can she be in the gym tomorrow. So
Cool.
she is fine.
All right, thanks.